Um, yeah, I'm already live. So I want to talk to some people. Please bear with me. I'm very shy in front of cameras, so I'm not the most like not shy person. But I was gonna talk to everybody about if anybody is considered in becoming a tree cutter. The proper word to be a tree cutter is actually the word arborist. That's what means a tree surgeon. And so I was gonna talk to people about considering maybe uh, if you're interested in becoming a tree cutter, the types of things that you're gonna need to know, and maybe because here in the RGV, there's not really that much arborist. That's the proper word to call a tree cutter, and there's not that much arborist. So people out there, most of the people that I know, they're actually like just normal people like me that decide to start your own business because you see that there's a whole venue out there in becoming a tree cutter that people really need this service in the valley, and there's really hard to contact people because no one really has like pages or maybe ways of promoting themselves through cards, um, through social media as I do, or maybe people just don't know how. They don't know someone like me that has found somebody that knows more than me, and that's how I started my own business because they showed me their knowledge and how to do it. I'm like, well, you know what? I already know this. I invested in buying my own machinery and all that stuff so I can start my own business. So I was gonna talk to you about ways of promoting yourself, the way I do it, the types of what type of chainsaw you need for a specific type of job, uh, why you shouldn't cut a tree down without being taught how to do it, consider the expenses that it will take to maintain your equipment running well, and consider you getting a mentor and why you should mentor with experience. So that's actually one of the first things I'm gonna say. Why you should not try to cut a tree down without being taught how to do it. It's because it actually takes certain types of cuts and knowledge. Um, and you can learn on YouTube. You can like if you don't have a mentor, you can learn on YouTube. There's other tree cutters out there that post. Like there's a guy on his channels called Guilty of Treason, and he shows you how to cut down trees, and that's what he does. So since there's already someone doing that, there's no point of talking about that stuff if I can direct you to him. So the stuff I was going to talk about is maybe like the considering the expenses and the stuff that it's going to cost to maintain your sharpening your blades. There's different types of things that do just the same job. Obviously, this one's a little bit more expensive than this one because this one's just more simple. And if you can learn on YouTube as well on what type of sharpening kits that you would the files that you would want to consider using. And so the reason why you should not cut a tree down without someone like you having experience how to do it is because there's been many cases where people attempt to cut trees down for the first time and they don't know how to properly set up what is called a hinge, the notch cuts or the back cut, and to fell a tree. And people have broken their houses down thinking that they know where the tree is gonna fall or that's just gonna assume. And there's many types of things that take place and influence the way the tree falls. Maybe it has too much heavy branches leaning one direction, and maybe that direction there's a house there, so you gotta try to knock it down the other way. And there's methods called rigging. So, but that said, like once you already know how to cut trees, you'll learn about that stuff. But so that's why you should not cut a tree down without you have if you have not ever cut a tree down, don't do it because you can literally hurt yourself, hurt someone, or seriously damage someone's property or your own property. And the next thing I was going to talk about is what type of chainsaw you need for a specific type of job because there's homeowner chainsaws, there's industrial chainsaws, and there's chainsaws like for making firewood. And as you can see, right now I don't have my bar on it because I'm fixing it, like I'm cleaning it. But as you can see, this right here is called a top handle chainsaw. And this top handle chainsaw is specifically meant uh, for cutting up when you're up in the tree because you don't want to be carrying something like this that weighs like 15 pounds or 20. It's actually very super heavy. And so this thing is like uh, twice the least, like that thing is just super heavy. What I'm trying to say, and this one right here is not as heavy. It's more convenient, and that's why the company made it. So whenever you go up on a tree, you can even. It's recommended and always grab it with two hands, but some people, even me at times, you need to cut a big, like a branch that's kind of far distance, and you kind of just have to use it by with one hand. So this is something you can carry with one hand. If you notice, this one has the the thing on the top, while this one has it on the side, because this is not meant to take up on a tree. This is meant to what they call to drop to mother the trees to fell them. And you also tell that this one, the bigger chainsaws always have these things, and this is called the dogs. These pointy spikes, these are called the dogs. And these dogs right here, you stab it into the tree. Like when you start, if you learn how to do cuts and stuff, it's pretty much to help you have a proper lining, so you can get the job done properly. Because it's very important to know what you're doing. So the top handle chainsaw, if you notice, this one is not a top handle chainsaw. It has it in the back because it's not meant to be taken up on the top of the trees. That's why the chat has a lot more power as well. So that's what I was gonna talk about. If you ever consider uh what type of chainsaw you need and for what type of purpose, because it's very important. As you can see, the small one only that one actually only has what they call it's a 12-inch bar. So that thing is not meant to cut big stumps like the big one is. That one is meant to cut little things, no more than that size right there. So no more than that. So that's why they take it up, because usually you don't have that much big uh, branches. First, you gotta clear off some branches. So like yeah, and then the next thing I was gonna talk about, consider the expenses that it would take to maintain your equipment running well. So what I'm talking about is like I say, when you start buying your stuff, you have to maintain it. You have to make sure you buy oil for the gasoline that mixes with that. It's called a two-stroke engine gasoline. And then also you got to consider buying the bar and chain oil. That is oil that does not mix with gasoline, that goes in another compartment, as I'm going to show you right now. So as you can see, this is for the gasoline and this is for the oil. This one on the top uses mix with, it's not the same bar oil, it's a mix. And this one is straight for the bar that goes up on there. It's straight for that, and that one provides lubrication to the bar, so the chainsaw can be running real nice and oiled. While the top for the gasoline is for the inside of the engine, if that makes any sense to anybody. So you need to buy sharpening kits. That this thing's like $30. They're it's kind of an expensive job to do, and that's why you charge people the prices that you charge, because it costs a lot to maintain these things. This your chainsaw, the chainsaw blades. As I'm saying, you need to sharpen that. You need to sharpen this with this thing, with the sharpening file, and then eventually the bar, this thing right here, actually gives out, because so you're gonna have to replace that eventually after using it for a good amount of time. So there's things like that you should might want to consider if you want to start your own business and stuff. That it's not gonna be easy at all. There's gonna be times that you're gonna feel down, but there's gonna be times when people that you don't know, you have not ever met them, and they haven't not met you in person, but they know you, and they give you a call like, hey, can you come do this for me? So this is what I'm gonna be doing, y'all, from now on. I'm obviously gonna continue doing my job and cutting trees, but if like I want to give myself a break, like today, I will make a video like this so I can still be being productive. And so yeah, alrighty, y'all. And the last thing I'm gonna speak to y'all about is to consider getting a mentor and why you should. So this is for example for the person, if you really want to like start cutting trees, you need a mentor. It'll be best recommended for you to get a mentor, because say for example someone knows like, okay, this guy wants to start his business, and they might you might just be very fortunate, and someone might give you a chance, like, you know what, come do this job for me. But if you don't have no knowledge, and no one has taught you, or you have not learned how to do it, you can seriously like end up costing them a lot of money and damaging their house, like bad repair, like stuff like that. Thank God that has not happened to me. Seriously, it hasn't. Thank God it hasn't happened to me. My customers are very well. But why? So you see, I didn't just start cutting trees for people without me knowing. Had like a whole year and a half learning from a professional, and once I acquired enough knowledge and knowing, okay, this is how the tree reacts with gravity, and this is what happens when you cut a tree down. Because, say for example, when you're cutting a tree, say for example, the tree is like this, but this is one of the branches that you're trying to cut down. This it's not just gonna fall down like that if you cut it from the top. So that if you cut it from the top, just from the top like that, going down, it's actually gonna bend forward. And usually, if you don't know how to take care of cutting it at the beginning, if you don't know how to do that, your chainsaw bar is gonna get stuck in there, and then you're gonna have just gonna cause you problems. Not gonna be able to take it out. So what you do to get down a tree like that, you cut it from the bottom first, make your way, and once the tree starts coming falling on its own weight, you take that out so it doesn't get stuck, and then you go from the top and start cutting it from the top now, and that enables the tree to fall just directly down. But it's always not smart to do that. Say for example, if the branches are near or directly gonna fall on the house, if you have no other option, the best way to do that is actually to cut it from the top so you can enable, and you gotta it's really difficult to explain this. I'll probably make a video for you all to see like how when it's the stuff I'm talking about. Very important because you can seriously damage your own house, hurt somebody, hurt yourself, or just something bad can happen. That's why I say why you should get a mentor, or at least at the very least learn and start. Maybe like if you absolutely have no other mentor and you've been learning on YouTube from there, it's best to cut down small trees, something that you're gonna start to understand the mechanics of the tree and how it works and how it falls. And then there's different trees, some weight very heavy, so that's gonna influence the type of cuts you're gonna need to do, and just a lot of things you need to learn. So it's something to consider if you ever really want to start cutting trees. It's not easy. It's almost like school, literally. It's not something you just learn overnight. It's gonna take you like a year and a half to 2 years just to get like be able to cut a tree down and almost predict what's gonna happen. So it just the more you learn, the better you get. The more you try, the more you keep doing your job, the more uh, something good comes out of it. You get more customers, but also, like I said, you got to consider promoting yourself a certain way. There's many ways to promote yourself. There's ways to make a page on Facebook, like I do, or a social media account, post, take pictures. That's why I do that for a reason. I'm not trying to like show it just for no reason. I need people, my customers, to see the jobs I do and that I get them done complete, so they can have be confident in me when they hire me. So you can use the method of a card here at Staples, and this is not a paid advertisement. I'm not trying to advertise them. I'm just being honest where I got my cards at. They sell you 1,000 cards for $20, and they actually have a computer that helps you. If you don't know more or less what to put, they can actually help you, so you can project your vision and get the appropriate customers you're looking for. So yeah, and then there's also been ways that I just go walk the streets and I go give my cards to people, whoever I see outside their houses, and they accept my cards, and if they really need my help, they'll give me a call, and it works. You just gotta be not proud, but be brave. You know what I mean? Understand that this world and this life is not easy. You need to really work hard. You need to do what you gotta do to make it happen. Cause like everybody, yeah, some people might help you out, but at the end of the day, they have their own lives to worry about as well. So that's something to consider. That you're not always on your own, but majority of the time you do have to take responsibility for what you're trying to get at. Alrighty, that's all for today, y'all, and have a nice day. I'm gonna be doing this type of stuff. I'm gonna talk about yard cutting soon, and also cutting palm trees, which you're going to want to consider the type of tools you're going to need for that, the type of tools you're going to need for cutting grass, and also clean yards as well. So the type of tools you're going to need for that. And alrighty, have a nice, wonderful day, everyone. Thank you for watching. Bye.